All right, I'm going to begin. I'm going to kick this off. People can come in as needed. So the home stretch, here we are. Next up, we have a panel. And the topic is Global Quantum Ecosystems, Partnerships, Integration, and Regional Pathways. And I would ask the panelists to come up. Our moderator is Ahmed Al-Mahmoud, Strategic Planning and Advisor, Government Assessor at the UAE Government. Panelists are Dr. Faras Al-Jabi, General Manager, ITQAN Al-Khali Computers. They're meeting for the first time. Raghunath Kaduvayar, CEO of RAQS Quantum. Diego Heinrich, Senior Director, Strategic Partnership, IonQ. All right, gentlemen, how about a hand for these gentlemen? Bringing up the end of the event here. Yay! Take it away.
Bismillah, it's working? It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Just welcome everybody and good afternoon. And the last session was very serious, so then we need to be happy a little bit. Relax. There are some interesting information. Now we need to learn from the best experts now. So yes, we need to be happy at least, huh? I'd like to welcome everybody, and we wish you all, like a good knowledge to learn from each other. I'd like to just introduce the doctors and professors, and then we'll go, and then we will roll into the question, name, and the experience, and what is so fascinating, just about the quantum technology. Please, Dr. Raghunath.
All right, thank you here. And thanks to Malak and team for putting this together. Fantastic conference, so thank you for that. Very inspiring. My name is Raghunath Kaduvayar. I'm CEO of a Singaporean quantum company. We work on enterprise applications called RAQS Quantum. And I'm also a senior adjunct fellow at Singapore University of Technology and Design. Happy to be here. I've been selling quantum hardware for the last 5 years before I founded this RAQS Quantum company. I've also sold education programs on quantum. And I'm also now selling the quantum applications. So I think I cover all three, the hardware, education, as well as the applications part of it. So happy to answer some questions. Thanks.
I think that was very smart to adapt new technology before it comes, right?
True story, I went online about 7 years ago, just before COVID, and looked for which are the technologies upcoming for 2030. Singularity, I had a report which said space tech and quantum tech, and I chose quantum.
Very smart. Very smart, my friend. Please, Dr. Diego.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me. Great conference and really enjoyed it. My name is Diego Heinrich. I'm the Senior Director for Strategic Partnerships at IonQ, which is a US-based quantum technology company. My focus at IonQ is mainly working in our new markets, so beyond our traditional markets in the United States and Europe, and also working with nations and developing their quantum strategies and posture as quantum technology is emerging more and more. And it's a very exciting topic, and obviously this region is one of the prime regions that we're looking at. So yeah, great to be here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Dr. Faras.
Thank you very much. I might not be as expert with the rest of the audience in the quantum. I'm just 3 years old in this industry, but I'm coming from the technology and system integration background. I am the general manager for 3 systems integrators in UAE, ITQAN, ATC, and Digital Octa. Been in this industry for more than 30 years, and proud to be associated with this respected forum to learn more about it. Our association started with QuEra, a US-based company that started out of Harvard and MIT. We started presenting through this respective forum, Quantum, and with very well to the UAE and the region. Our experience as a system integrator comes from the concept of helping many initiatives on the high-performance compute, and we thought quantum could be an extension for that. From that perspective, I'm available today. My PhD is in cloud computing. and the impact of cloud computing on the public transformation initiatives in UAE. Thank you.
Thank you, doctors and professors. Okay, let's hear some interesting talks. Quantum landscape, with what is the effect on it on the ecosystem? How do you think it can add value? Or what are the advantages and the disadvantages, and what is the benefit from? Please, yes.
Oh, a lot, yeah. So over the last
Just
2
give
days,
us the best thing.
yeah, over the last 2 days, I think we've been looking at it, right? Maybe I say is that 1955 is the time when the term artificial intelligence was first coined, and then it took us about 70 years to get to AI. So quantum also in the ecosystem has a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential. I think the kind of problems quantum computing will solve is not, we have not figured it out in this room. So the problem statement has not been done. All the use cases that you see, all the examples you see are very early stage. So is it a generational technology? I think it is. How will it impact the ecosystem? I think it might bring different regions again to a level playing field. With Silicon race, maybe there was certain Western world that took the leadership role and the other regions get left behind. Quantum has an opportunity right now to catch up and make it again a level playing field for the world. So I'm an optimist. I feel it will be a better world. It will create more jobs, and it will solve a lot of problems that humankind has in terms of healthcare, maybe carbon emissions and so on. It has the potential to solve that on the ecosystem.
Excellent. As a part of a provider, I think there's a good benefit will be in the future for you, maybe, especially in selling the technology. Yes. Maybe, just before I go to you, Dr. Diego, I'm the only one, I think I did not download, ChatGPT. I like other ones, but not ChatGPT. Why? Because I think there is a better technology. What all of the professors here and all of the providers here, they can deliver better than that, and we know it. Dr. Diego, please, regarding the system, the ecosystem, how far do you see the quantum technology goes?
Where it's going to go, I think it's a very difficult question to say. I think far, I hope.
Okay.
But I think we can see already now that there's a lot of momentum has grown in this year alone, right? If you look at the investment landscape of how much money flows into quantum computing, I know that's not the scientific argument, but it's an important argument, geopolitically. But also in terms
especially if you're IonQ, right?
Yes. I think for everyone, but yes. And I think so. I think that's positive. I think you're also seeing a lot of interest from nations now, right? A lot of countries beyond, let's say you were referencing it, right? There had been this digital divide, which it's still a risk that it will also exist in the quantum world. But you see, new markets also launching their quantum strategies and trying to understand, what this means and how they need to position themselves to be competitive in the future. And then I also think another something that we observed and something that IonQ is also driving, and that's something that's always a sign for maturing within a technology space, is consolidation, right? For now we have many different modalities. Will that be the case in the future? Probably not. There's not a lot of precedent for it. And already, you see consolidation across different verticals. I think IonQ in the last 18 months, we've acquired some 7 companies, and other companies are doing similar things. So I think these are all positive signs that, we're seeing growth and momentum and excitement and belief in the technology.
Dr. Firas, regarding, the integration of the UAE context, what do you see from your point of view as an expert?
Thank you. And I believe the last 5 years had witnessed a huge demand for computing power to fuel the AI, to fuel the big data and analytics. And we all had witnessed that there was a shortage in probably the computing power, the GPUs, the demand for certain use cases that helps to fuel the AI. they ask for an extension between high-performance compute GPUs and the quantum in order to sustain this availability of high-power computing with the use cases had been a factor. QuEra is a neutral atom quantum computing and a matured stack of software when it comes to the quantum. The beginning of QuEra from an academia had really triggered with us to take the same momentum, and we had extended the same approach to invite universities in Abu Dhabi and in UAE, the Ministry of Advanced Industry of Technology, and as well the association with the TII that we have had brought to the market a new flavor of quantum computing of QuEra is available, like Hakam mentioned, on AWS, but also this is the first kind of quantum computing as a machine that can work in the room temperature. So there is no need for this complicated
systems.
Yes, so it can work on the room temperature, and I believe this is a unique advantage and feature for QuEra computing.
Excellent, because you know, when we heard about the blockchain requires so much cooling system that can be, you know, needed to, you know, make the data safe. And mashallah, you know, since I've been reading so much about the quantum since last year, as a part of, you know, we do, you know, about the assessment of the government sector. So they keep sending us to make sure that their services and the servers are compliance based on, you know, the standards. Now that the quantum computing is in, so we, you know, we are required to put new standards, new protocols, new compliance on making those government sectors and the private sectors work on, and which result to, you know, what, you know, for the next question is how we can get new ideas, because we know when we try, you know, to make some of the government sector create or to try to bring, you know, new ideas, you know, by their staff, innovators, and these things, we have a lot of challenges, especially when we have so many ideas, but how many are there to make it implement? You can have 50 ideas, but what they make an approval on, or, you know, they make the implementation is maybe 4 or 5, like this, out of 50. So then we'll take it now to the quantum technology. Now you need creators, you need people who can give you new ideas and new technology that can support the quantum technology. So from your point of view, what do you think? Did you find people that they can give, you know, new ideas to support this technology?
Let me peel this as an answer like an onion, right? Like quantum computers is a tool that is being provided. So computing is a tool that we all are championing for, saying it is coming, it's already here, and you can start working with it. Now, once you give the tool, where does it go? I think history is a good representation of the future. So if we just look back, say 20 years ago, smartphones when it came in, who would have thought, at least my generation, I never thought I can book a cab on my phone, like an app. I can track people, I can do video calls. I never thought that is possible. Or at least I read about it, I knew that there was innovation coming in. Then we just need to leave it to the developers or the world outside to develop it. So the technology is what we can provide, the tools. As an industry, we have a responsibility to ensure that the tool are given with the right data and right applications. Government has to play the role to manage the ethics and also the governance part of it. But how will the production happen? How will it be produced or how will it be used? I think it's up to the people. But then you also raised another point, which worries me as a father of 2 kids, like both boys, 11 years and 7 years. The struggle is, how do I make them sit idle so that they can think about a creative solution? So they don't spend enough time just sitting idle. In our generation, we just used to pause. For some reason, 30 minutes you sit, you get a wild idea, you draw something, you color something, you have a new idea. I think this generation lacks that. They want answers. So if you ask a youngster today, what is it that you can do with quantum computing? They'll go to ChatGPT and type, what can I do with quantum computing? And that, I think, is a problem because ChatGPT only knows the solutions that are already there in the data. So do I see enough of it? I don't. I'm very scared about it. But how can we still make innovation happen? I think there is a challenge happening right now outside where industry, Abu Dhabi port and others are contributing. I think we need more challenges, but I think we need to also push our kids to do more art, more music, and just be idle. But that's a big, big challenge. I don't have an answer.
True. Diego, you're, like a very responsible regarding the, partnership. So then we have something that in order to create or, to add to the technology, we need, the ideas of others. So that we need the ideas from the customers, partnership, and from the students. So then how do you, make the reflection of that? Since you're responsible regarding the partnership.
Yeah, I think, it's my role, so I'm going to say partnerships are really, really important, obviously.
Of course.
But I also have some arguments to back it up, right? Not just to justify my own position.
True.
But yeah, partnerships are really important. And there's, as you said, there's many different types of partnerships. But to highlight a few, I think one very important type of partnership to bring quantum to, kind of industry-grade solutions is exactly that, industry partnerships, right? For example, we work very, very closely with AstraZeneca to the point that we have a team in their BioVenture hub in Sweden that works only and exclusively on drug discovery applications. And why are we doing that? It's not that we don't have, any pharma expertise in-house. We do. But do we have the same expertise as AstraZeneca that's been in the industry for many decades? Probably not, right? And I can tell you firsthand, without disclosing too many internal details, that when we started talking to them, to when we actually had the agreement, the type of use cases that we were discussing in session 1 versus session 20, there was a lot of change, right? And now we've developed a catalyst together. We've done many great things, but only because we were able to learn from them. So domain expertise and these domain expert partnerships are very important. I think also, just in general, having a healthy exchange of ideas also on the research side with research labs all over the world is very important. We work very closely with KISTI, which is a research lab in South Korea where we are placing a quantum computer. And here, actually around the corner, we're working with TII, so they're using some of our comms equipment, they're using our quantum computers. We have frequent exchanges with their algorithm teams just to, it's not necessarily about let's do business together. It's about, okay, what are you working on? What are we working on? And, where's the overlap between, these ideas and questions, and maybe we can do something together. But it's just to stay connected and to seek solutions, across the globe.
Dr. Firas, your views on? It's the thing that I don't like to follow the papers that much. I want just everybody to speak from their own heart, to give the best experience and the best knowledge of answers. Doctor.
Yeah, and I think the 3 pillars on which the success of a quantum computing in terms of the partnerships that can really make it a successful is the academia and the sponsorship from owners and the governments, as well as the hosting of the technologies. I believe every country today lacks too much of integration between the research centers in the universities and the industries. What are they looking for? In UAE, I believe we had seen a lot of demand when it comes to many useful cases during the time of the vaccine, the UAE genome, the need for a really high resilience when it comes to the cybersecurity. All these national initiatives, quantum can play a very pivotal role in driving it forward, and at the same time, it will help in accelerating the need. We had seen in 22, 23, high demand for high-performance compute, but lack of supply. And should we have at that time the availability of a quantum computing with ready used cases that fuel this, maybe that would have helped certain initiatives. The public cloud computing is an excellent source, and we encourage that to try the availability of the quantum used cases on such platforms like AWS. They had really made an excellent steps towards having it accessible to a large number of universities and the students. And I know many use cases that have been developed on the brackets of AWS. And I know that there is initiatives today in one of the major data centers in UAE to host quantum computing and make it as a service. Develop some researchers, Leaf University, New York University, Sorbonne, and many other universities are really marching in bold steps toward that. Abu Dhabi University, we were in discussion with all these institutions, and we understood that there are really serious programs that they have to. The same event that happens every January or February, Dr. Malak is organizing. If you go there, especially this year in February, the attendance from the academia is massive.
Yes. We were there, we've seen.
You were there.
Yeah.
Many students, many professors, many researchers. So if this momentum continues and there is a sponsorship for this initiative, I believe the acquisition of hardware is not an issue.
Because,
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Firas. So, it's the thing that we always, try to tell, about the government sectors is try to sit with your partners. Bring students, bring scientists, bring people from outside. Try to get new things from them. And the same thing that we'd like to ask all of the companies whom they are, trying to adopt this technology. If you want to bring new ideas, take it from the students of the universities, from the customers, from and other partners. It will just develop your technology massively. You'll get a lot of good ideas, and especially now if you can just imagine things inside, like in IT, you can bring anything you want. It's just all about to think about just your imagination. So all this what's happening now, which leads us, to the a third question. How the quantum technology can help our environment? How can it save our world? Or to add value to the world, because you see the production of new technology which is operating is just infecting with the earth in some sort of like different way. So then, what do you think?
Oh, again, a very, very interesting question, and the answer is right. We do solve a lot of problems, but with new technology, we also create a lot of problems. So humans are like that. So I think the answer on the optimistic side, I would say many. Drug discovery, maybe our health will be better. Quantum computing holds a promise with drug discovery.
True.
Again, you mentioned a example like at least AstraZeneca working towards something. Now, eventually, when the computers are powerful enough, maybe drug discovery will be faster, better, personalized. Precision medicine is a hope. Carbon emission, production of ammonia, the fertilizer which has so much, say, carbon emission or impact on the world, I think that can be reduced. There could be new ways of EV batteries, so new way of carbon capture. There could be many that can be done. We can avoid a lot of climate-based impact, like predict typhoons and then all the other stuff, tsunamis and so on in the east. So these are things that quantum computing holds the promise. Now to do that, we also need to be patient because the systems of today are almost like toys. So they are not there yet, they are not mature yet. So I think we just need to give it time the same way as we gave time to computers, like the classical computers. If we give it time, the hope is there because the many solutions will be there. But the challenges are also very, very serious because we see a lot about the quantum communication, quantum security. So that threat is also there. So it's up to, again, the government and also the regulators to ensure that we don't have similar repeat of ChatGPT moment where we pushed out a technology to the consumer's hands way too soon. So I hope I see some positive signs, but I do hope that all the players and all the governance bodies actually works also towards that, because we have an opportunity to regulate it now. So the hope is there, because the problems that can be solved are immense at this point.
Excellent. Good. There you go. Nice.
Yeah, I think a lot of great examples were mentioned. Definitely, I mean, there are solutions on the application side that can, benefit the environment, whether it's carbon capture through catalyst, or whether, we also work on battery design with Hyundai in South Korea. So there's plenty of things that can be on the application side. But I wanted to highlight another aspect, right? You were mentioning ChatGPT in the beginning, right? And one of the downsides of all these huge GPU deployments that we see also in this region, right? A lot has been announced, is, they're quite, that need a lot of energy, right? And even if you're a country like, I don't know, UAE or Saudi or Qatar that probably has more energy than others, it's still a challenge. And it's a challenge to the point that they are discussing it and they are not sure exactly how they're going to pull it off. Now, the great advantage with quantum computers, with some of them, is just like the QuEra system, the IonQ systems also work at room temperature, and they need some kilowatts to operate versus the gigawatts of data centers that are being deployed right now, right? So it's this exponential nature of the computing power of quantum computers that will also help save energy while doing some, computationally intensive activities.
Excellent. Dr. Firas.
Adding to my esteemed panelists, I would add two verticals that really may benefit from the advance in the quantum. The first is the financial sector, the prediction, the analysis, and the stock, and as well as the financial institutions like ADIA in UAE and others when it comes to the financials prediction. And the second aspect that quantum brings, which is the post-crypto and the cyber security. I believe with the introduction of the 256 bits and the encryption, as well the cyber security use cases, this is one of the most important things, because you own the cyber security initiatives in your country, in your place, according to your terms. So I believe there should be researchers working on these two aspects. I know that there is plenty, but today with the improvement of the digital currencies that is available there, the increased magnitude of cyber threats, that its influx to the countries is unavoidable. I believe quantum would help in finding out more ways and to help immune economies and countries from such aspects. That's it. Thank you.
Right. Just one of the technologies I saw that works on quantum. I saw it last year. It can create a fabric from air. Just imagine, by using, quantum technology from air, they can create fabric, which, the space people, that they can wear and use. This is how far quantum technology can go. I've seen it, it's a German company, German people, they are very smart in creating machines and technology. Yeah, okay, good. Actually, when German lady, just introduced, to this, device, it's like, it's a long device like this, and it's create a fabric from air, nothing. And the other thing that they use quantum technology to create, some sort of, like a chemical, a substance, I think, it's a green ammonia that can just replace oil for cars. Yes. And that pitch file, I have it. Because you can use it in your cars, and it's very clean, and then you can produce it with cheap production. And it's all based on quantum studies. Interesting, huh? Which leads us to, what the other question is. deployment and how we see, our, the current partnerships and the current technology will help us accelerate the deployment of the quantum technology for our future. So, what do you think?
So maybe I'll, again, to your point, to your examples, right? If it feels absurd right now, if it feels like how is it possible, then in 20 years' time, again, you will see that that is possible. That's what technology always proves us wrong. So I really like those examples. I don't know how much quantum will play a part, but I hope it plays a part. And
I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot because they always come to us. Can you make, like an assessment for this device? Wow. So then we do the assessment. We have, like our own criteria. And each time I see, like a very surprising thing. So yes.
So if it can make new material, it can maybe produce food, it can do everything else. So maybe from thin hair, we can do a lot of things, hopefully.
Well, I can, the best people that you can ask, is the German people. They can create anything.
So to answer your question on how do we accelerate quantum?
Yes.
In a way, at least I'll give some examples from Asia, which is where I'm based in Singapore. And also Middle East is a very, very good example. Like today, we are discussing about quantum in a maritime building. In itself is a very special thing. The reason why I say that, and also examples I see in Asia, is Japan aims to have 10 million quantum users by 2030. 10 million quantum users in the next 5 years. That is, again, a bold statement. So they are preparing the future workforce. Singapore, for example, has invested a lot on the financial side, and on the other side, again, India, Thailand, Malaysia. So there are many such national projects and national strategies that we see popping up across the world that shows that quantum adoption is increasing. So there are a lot of programs happening. But the quantum is built upon, say, decades of quantum R&D investment, the scientific investments. So the challenge that I see, and where we see an opportunity, is there needs to be more collaboration, maybe more partnerships, because that is the only way we can solve problems which are relevant for the local market. Like the problems for Middle East could be very different from the problems for a Western market to Asia. So I see more collaborations is very important. Education is more important. For example, next week we are training about 20 people here in Middle East on quantum AI certification with a Singapore University certification. Excellent. So in last month we did 30 participant training in Singapore. So we need to train a lot of AI engineers on quantum AI, quantum benefits. So capability building, more partnerships, and also in terms of maybe government support. Again, I go to it because quantum is similar to space programs. Government kept funding space programs until you saw SpaceX and others come out. So quantum is still a very, very nascent child. So quantum technologies still need that handholding, still needs that support from the governments, which will ensure that the adoption becomes faster.
Excellent. Yeah.
The question is about deployment, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Deployment and the acceleration, how we can.
Yeah, I mean,
point of view.
I agree with the point, right? As of now, it's mainly government driven, but we see, as I mentioned before, we see deployment heating up a lot, right? I mean, we've deployed now in Korea, in Switzerland, UK, and United States, of course. Hopefully in the Gulf soon. And yeah, we see a lot of interest. It's mainly government driven, that's true, but I think that's also due to the sort of main threat of quantum computing, which is to decrypt data, and that's what governments are really, really worried about. So they want these capabilities in-house to at least understand what's happening,
Sure.
and be able to prepare for that day, which is not that far away, right? So just to give you an idea, I mean, I think there was a Google study that said like 1 million high-quality qubits you can decrypt data in maybe in a couple of hours. I think our current roadmap would be like 2028. So that's tomorrow, I mean, so yeah. you need to start early. But so deployment is definitely accelerating, and we have deployed already a handful of quantum computers, and we'll continue to do so. I think in terms of accelerating applications, as you mentioned, partnerships are important. So beyond just research partnerships, we also try to plug into workflows that are being used in industry today, like real world workflows. Right? We're working with ANSYS, which is a multi-physics software provider. Essentially, they're providing simulation software to any industry that you can think of, like automotive, for example. And that's a workflow where we identified already with the quantum computers of today, a certain step in the workflow where the quantum computer could plug in and add value, right? And yes, the scale is not there to take over the whole workflow, but it can add parts, and that gives industry comfort that there is an ROI case here and that they should pursue that. So yeah, I think deployment is heating up, partnerships are heating up, and there's a lot of momentum, and I think it's going in the right direction.
Excellent. Thanks, Firas.
Thank you. Actually, the start of the quantum computing, maybe I can read back until 10 years ago. This evolution of this industry had not started from a manufacturer, but rather from multiple manufacturers. And it is not structured or architected on the same concept that servers and computing. There are limited designs for the computing in terms of processor, motherboard, RAM, and this digital infrastructure. When it comes to the quantum, this era had started with so many options. Today with QuEra, we are talking about the neutral atom. There is many are working on photons, on protons. So this variety of infrastructure and compute and the variety of software is capable enough to create a wave of proliferation of this industry that will supersede the acceleration of high-performance compute and computes and GPUs and CPUs with all its limitation in terms of the infra. The second part is the encouragement that we have it from the academia and software to write use cases and help in the bridging the gap between what can be used on the quantum or not. So I believe the future is more brighter. The era of the AI, when it started, I don't think anybody had thought of quantum computing to be a source of power to fuel this revolution of AI. Today, there is not much enough of computing power, so the demand to accelerate the quantum computing would be higher. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, the moderator says 5 minutes, so we'll have just one last question, just one sentence by each of the respected expert. I'm just too much interested to learn a lot because I need to take this to the top people to tell them, what can quantum computing can support and enhance the quality of life of the UAE. One line, one sentence. It's yes, but Dr. Firas, and then we'll come back.
Thank you. I would say it's important to create future jobs for the students as well as enhance the cybersecurity and ammunition of the country. Thank you.
Future jobs, excellent. That is what all of the fear of all of us, that we might lose our jobs, but if we can create new jobs, that is very interesting. Diego, please.
Yeah, I think it's a related point, I would call it, and I think it's aligned with the national vision as well, right? It's about becoming a knowledge-based economy, right? So I mean, if you can, since it's an emerging technology, if you're an early adopter, if you're part of the 10%, you reap in 90% of the benefits later, right? And this can really position any country that makes a bet as one of the leaders, right? And that's the opportunity.
Excellent.
UAE is a very gifted land. So I feel this is an opportunity for UAE to build a better future.
Excellent. And I'd like to always say to all of about the government sectors and the private sector, because I go on TV and I speak very frankly, to them. Because when we make the assessment, we see the faults and we see the right things which been done and the wrong things which been done. We need to take care of those talents, because if we use good talents to put in this good technology for the future, it can be, or it can give a lot of great things. But we need to give good talents a chance to participate in it.
I think if I may just end with it, due to the association that we have with the universities, I believe there is opportunity for a global reach. The UAE universities and UAE national talents, they had showed amazing collaboration with these programs. Today, UAE can export talents to the world out of here, rather than having programmers to come on the other way.
True. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Firas. Thanks a lot, Dan.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. That was a great conversation. Appreciate you sharing your perspective with us. Yeah, down to workforce, back to the workforce topic. Yeah, picture.